complete shoulder training and an update of all the changes and everything that's been happening through this prep so far over the last about 3 weeks. So everything has been moving smooth. I did have some hiccups, but what I did do to drop stress levels, and something I usually don't do, I've hired a coach to just do all my nutrition and everything for me now. I usually just do my own, but usually I think I'm my own worst critic and I take stuff away or adjust stuff more than I should as I'm going along. But so far the first week with the new coach has been good. I ended up losing 1 kilo and 300 grams, so that's good. I did have a slight hiccup though. I did all my tape measurements. I usually don't like doing them as I get leaner because I start to get really strange and the muscle dysmorphia kicks in once I get under a certain measurement, either with the legs and the arms, and then usually in the past I'll use that as an excuse or a vice to go and eat food and not do my goals that I know I need to do and just think I need to get bigger because I think I'm too small. So it's just a battle trying to not deal with that. But yeah, because they dropped under that measurement. Usually when the legs get under the 29 and the arms get under the 20 inches, I start to get panicked with that, and it sort of really hits home hard for me, mentally. So that having to do that measurement through Spanner in the works for me over the last few days. I'm sort of dealing with that, and we'll see how it goes. Like in the mirror and stuff, I look a lot better. I can notice the bit of the size difference. I really think at the end of the day though, because I've been dieting all the way since March, other than having that 8-week period where I bumped my calories up to maintenance. So realistically, I think that my rebound's going to be really insane once I get out of it because of all that extra tissue and how long I've been dieting for. So realistically, that should, I think that will mentally help me a little bit, but not a great deal. So I'll have to document that for you guys as I'm going along, and you'll see that rebound. Like I says, that rebound will be insane when it's time. It's not time for that yet. So I think we've got about another 15 weeks or something to cruise along with this diet and just get what needs to be done. Training has been moving along okay. I did have a slight hiccup where I've had an operation in the past and got all the gauze added to my stomach because I had a hernia that knocked me back from doing a different one of the times as well. I was getting ready and I was getting in shape. I was doing side laterals, tell you the truth, on the bench, and it popped and the hernia come out. It felt like a tongue. I had to push it back in all the time. I was like, what is that? And then, I give myself a hernia, but I got that fixed. That took a little bit of time to heal and to get it done, but sometimes as I'm doing lower leg lifts, I will lift and it will end up slightly pulling a little bit. So I think that happened. I'll introduce more ab training during this week though. I think I'll be doing that today, tell you the truth. So that should be all back onto track. During this whole training session, I felt pretty good. I deliberately moved a lot heavier weight. Like I says, I use all techniques. I look as the muscle as like a wet tea towel, and I want to drain every single drop out of it just to be sporadic on it and not, give it the same type of thing. So that's the same with my set ranges. So my set ranges will always range from anywhere from 15, and depending on what technique I'm going to use, all the way up to, anywhere from 40 to 20, and how I feel on the day. I found being sporadic blowing like that, it will, if I've got like a thing that doesn't feel right, feels a little bit niggly, injury things, other things, because I've got a lot of nicks and tears over the whole period of time. That prevents me from injuring myself more and doing more things like that. Once you get tuned in with your body over a longer period of time, you'll start to feel certain things, especially I found if I don't listen to them, if that doesn't feel quite right, that's when shit usually rips and goes. So I hope that helps, and that should help yours once you can zone that in and understand. And more years you get under your belt, the more easier to identify them things. But like everything, sometimes it would just go and you don't really have much of a choice. It just do it rip, and that's a bad thing about it. But I suppose it is what it is. So like I said, the training's good. That's good. Posing's coming along good as well. Like, it's a lot better than it has been. Got to pump that up a little bit and adjust that so I'll get a little bit more practice, because I was practicing a lot in the mirror, but when it is time, the mirror's not going to be there. So now it's time to start recording and practicing so I can still hit the same shots. It feels the same, and do it by feel, because it will feel different, doing it from that way to that way. So there is one thing I've got to adjust. I was doing like a type of spin where I would, in between my quarter turns, I would pull back and sort of like one hand would go into a up double bicep. So I got advised not to do that. So I'm going to not do that. I've got to just figure out something else to do in between the turn. Maybe I'll just do a slight back tilt, because I'll adjust that in. I haven't decided what I'm going to do there yet. We'll just see what looks best when I get into the posing a lot more, and we'll adjust to make everything look and flow better. Update on vascularity. Vascularity is coming along nice. All through the arms, that's all starting to come in. Shoulders a little bit. It's finally coming in through the quads and the calves, so we'll just see how that goes. Like I said, due to where I hold my body fat by the calipers and everything else, it'll be probably my back the last to come in. I'm unsure of how them veins are going to look through there though. Fingers crossed we don't get a whole heap of them asparagus veins. So far we've been lucky with that, so hopefully we can keep the same trend going. We'll know as we go along. Keep you posted. I'm sure you guys will end up seeing during that period of time. This week I did do something a little bit different. I ended up going into town and I just ended up obliviating my legs. I did like 63 sets on them. I went a lot lighter and just moved through quick and just pumped the living shit out of them. It felt good. I've been so sore, it's been ridiculous. I couldn't even sit on the toilet seat. I'd try to move around and I'm like whinging constantly, but that's okay. It was a good shock to the body. Like usually I wouldn't do something like that all the time. That's a rare thing that I'll do something like that. But by saying that, it was technically not that much volume because it was split over my quads, my hamstrings, and my calves. So realistically, my hamstrings got the most punishment during that, and then my quads got a little bit, and then my calves, finished off with calves. That's another thing too that's come up quite a lot, because I haven't been training calves in a really long time, because I tore both of them at the same time, and they would always re-tear and always have issues with them. But I finally was able to retrain them a bit, so they're starting to finally come along and start to look better. Like I said, I've been giving you an update with that, probably every 3 weeks on the calves. There'll be another one of them coming up, so hopefully more vascularity will come into them and that's all we've got time for. Subscribe to the channel.